live. Oh, and we are talking Orville. Get some music going. Pogo. Made.
Not now.
I don't want nobody. Buddy. Alright, get your cigarette. Alright. So, I thought Orville episode 2 was a lot better than episode 1. Significantly so.
Improvement, it has to improve a lot more for me to start liking it, but I think it's timing and how long stuff's going on.
Yeah, there's definitely still a timing issue going on with the humor. The sequence at the beginning of the episode with the father was stretched out far too long.
It could have just stopped the mother.
Yeah, I think when she was baiting the ex-wife with so was it worth it, would have been the perfect spot to have cut the conversation. Like, oops, we lost the transmission. I guess we'll have to go over there or something like that. The humor still is having some issues there, you know. Again, it's timing, like you said. Again, the graphics and visuals are really, really good. The visual for the zoo, even though we didn't get to see a lot of it, you got enough of it to understand what they were trying to achieve with the zoo.
Yes, that's some of it. And how it's resolved in the end, I think.
Yeah, I felt it. The resolution of the episode was actually pretty decent. I thought that was that genuinely made me laugh incredibly hard with the ending, with the giving them all of Earth's records of reality television, the ultimate human zoo. Yeah, I'd say that was pretty well done, actually.
I think that was again, this proved that the main characters, they aren't the draw for the show.
Yeah, the tertiary characters are definitely where the humor's at. Again, I find the main character that Seth MacFarlane plays and the woman that plays his wife, ex-wife, are the weakest characters, honestly. They have
and not to mention game where it looks like red conning
with popular titles and Spotify originals like Showstopper, which explores how killer music makes for great TV.
That's plain on.
I think they red con. Well, maybe they'll get back together.
No, I mean they definitely established that they're just not good together as a couple, and I think. Yeah, going forward, that was definitely needed for the show. They definitely needed to establish, we're not just going to have them end up together. You know, we're not going to have them being together as a couple. And I think that was definitely good for the show because they were definitely trying to build up this idea that she had this kind of like nostalgic view of her relationship with Seth MacFarlane's character, and that you know, it's just your fault that we weren't together anymore because even though I slept with someone on you. And then you see in that little vignette of their old apartment in the zoo, them actually being
what they were
shitty,
like when they were together.
shitty together.
And here's the thing, I mean, fine, if you're gonna show that, but only for the nostalgia if it had been longer than a fucking year since they'd last been together.
Yeah, and that's still one of my complaints. I think the year since they separated plot is just a little. Yeah.
No, it's.
Well, it's contrite. It's not.
10 years, maybe, then you can kind of feel nostalgic. And then life would turn out different.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's not like they're different people. In a year's time, not that much has changed them as individuals. If they had said, oh, they were, her backplot had been, say, divorced or separated 10 years prior, that would have been so much more interesting. It's like, yeah, maybe he still has hurt feelings that she cheated on him, but, 10 years is a long time. Something like that would have been more interesting.
A child about having her on the ship. If it had been 10 years, so then, yeah, a commanding officer long.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like either they're making him overplay or making everyone else downplay happen, making her the angel, and that he just over it.
Yeah, it seems like they haven't really sorted out Seth MacFarlane's character or her character yet. I still think they're trying to work out what they want to do with the series yet. Because, like I said, the second episode is far better.
Gotta work it out quick. There's one joke in the entire thing.
Well, yes, and based on the reviews, we're in the minority. A lot of people seem to really find the show funny. Like, last episode had like a 90% approval, and I don't know. I don't see a lot of the jokes that people are getting. A lot of the humor seemed very West Coast pothead humor,
It's too on the nose. Like, if they had stuck with the pot brownie as the only pot joke, fine.
Well, they've even done a throwback, when she was stressing out in the zoo. That would have been, a nice callback to that pot brownie or something,
Yeah, like, I'm glad I got that now. And, it would be fine. But the problem is, it's length of these bits. This feels like an overly long Family Guy episode. Like, the bits with the father. Okay, fine. If that had been the father came on, are you gonna get that scan? And he cuts it right as the father says
something embarrassing.
Embarrassing, and like, okay, that's kind of funny. Or the mother, cut at the mother baiting.
Yeah.
But don't put on so long that it's like, and you've killed the joke now.
Yeah.
There's nothing to.
Yeah, and again, the joke timing has to be worked on, and when it's not Seth MacFarlane's character, for the most part, the timing's pretty on. I mean, there was the little early on sequence with the was it Ilaria, the Vulcan Klingon hybrid race character that they have. She there was that one part where she's like, she's having a couple of shots to give herself some liquid courage to take on command, which was, well done. It was interesting. It showed that she was having a lot of stress. nice little touch. You know what they're really meaning, but you know, for legal reasons, obviously they can't call it warp drive or a warp engine for, you know, probably for copyright reasons. Let's see some of the other Star Trek-y touches. I actually kind of like the idea of the giant zoo. I kind of wish they had explored that race a little more. It almost would have been more interesting as a two episode, you know, like a two-parter. Because the zoo almost felt like they should have had a much bigger plot to it instead of being... I mean, I understand they want to go for the episodic nature that was the original Star Trek, but it really felt like it should have been like a two-parter. They get caught. They're in this zoo, and then the second part is them, you know, wheeling and dealing and figuring out a way to get out of the zoo. Something that would have built up on that a little bit more would have been more interesting. Or hell, even... I think the humor of their escape would have been a little bit more interesting if perhaps, you know, but then again, their characters aren't that strong. The actors just aren't.
None of it's that strong. That's the thing. Well, it's competent, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, again, the humor isn't hitting that hard. Let's see what the IMDb is saying for. Now, I like this episode, so what do you want to bet the score for this second episode is? Lower than the first, so IMDb, the Orville. All right. I see you. Here we are.
Well,
So,
like,
guide.
the point I was gonna make though was, thing it just felt so. Thanks to Star Trek, even when it was episodic.
Well, I apparently people agree with me. At least, Old Wounds, the very first episode, is now down to a 7.3 from its like 9 it had initially.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But Command Performance, which has not quite as many reviews yet, but is still higher, is sitting at an 8.2. So
yeah. For Star Trek.
Well, again, they're trying to be their own thing.
I know they're making Star Wars references. It's just like, go for more than just competence, because everything, folks feel like everything's gone 5 minutes. Have plot lines for characters that are starting that I really care about.
Yeah.
And you have this characters that are just bland. These are utter vanilla characters. I only have 3 characters. One of them's the Doctor, and the 2 are the other helmsman.
Yeah, though this episode definitely made me endeared the lieutenant to me. I think she's now much better.
Could be something, and I hope something with her.
Yeah, I hope they really develop her character. I think that she needs more screen time now.
I wanted like a 3-parter.
Yeah, like I said, I don't necessarily think it needed 3 parts, but definitely a 2-parter would have been kind of interesting. Like, this whole episode builds up. Hell, that could have been some of the comedy. The whole episode builds up on Seth MacFarlane and his ex, you know, working, wheeling and dealing. We only get like montage cuts, you know, like as they're cutting to them working on an escape plan or making an escape route. And then the second episode resolves, and part of the joke could be like, after everything they go through, it turns out all of that was a hologram just to keep the, you know, the animals entertained, and they're let go because of the wheeling and dealing of the robot and android and the lieutenant. That could have been interesting. Like, that could have been half the humor. Like, hell, they could have even had part of the joke be like the robot and the lieutenant had been watching them for like the last hour, like with popcorn or something, as they were like doing their like Mission Impossible ship to try to escape.
Funny, like you had like or even just the helmsman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's funnier if you had that, and then you had the helmsman sitting, like, again, push the episode back to episode 9.
Yeah.
And then have the helmsman just sitting there with popcorn in front, just watching them do this.
Or even have a throwback to that weird soda joke, that awkward soda joke they made in the first episode, and just have them with that metal soda that he had in the first episode, drinking from that, with then the other
guy with
popcorn, you know,
and
just something.
They're just standing there watching them. And like, that would have been far more entertaining than anything. I mean, they're saying like
they kind of missed the beat, I think, with because you're talking about a race that has this super powerful hard light, you know, holographic technology, a la the hologram technology from Star Trek, and they don't play up on that. They could have really played up on the idea that yes, they're in a zoo, but you know, there comes a point where they think they've escaped, and it turns out that's all just part of the program. Heck, you could even have like the guys